GT Vegeta is an absolute legend. He is the best version of Vegeta throughout the entire Dragon Ball franchise. And I stand by that boldly. The goddamn Alpha Saiyan. Any GT Vegeta fans in the house, final shine that like button. Let me know you love this guy. There is something about GT Vegeta that is so damn likable for me. Leather pants, mustache. Something feels so right. Maybe it's because I'm getting older and I'm no longer an Android Saga Vegeta fanboy. And if I was an Android Saga Vegeta fanboy, I would probably bite at this video and hate on GT Vegeta. So that's why at this point in my life, I don't give a fuck anymore. The more I rewatch GT, the more I see Vegeta in GT, the more I embrace end of journeys than constant bang bang action non-stop. Go, 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 Dragon Ball Super, never change, never age. Man, when I stay away from that shit and read and watch stories where characters actually progress and you see an ending, it's more relatable to an actual journey in life. And I feel GT Vegeta is a relatable character. His growth, his development, his responsibilities, something feels warm and homely about GT Vegeta. I love how we refer to characters in GT as GT. Enter name. It's pretty badass. Because whenever I watch Saiyan Saga all the way to the Buu Saga of Z, I felt cold when watching Vegeta. I kind of just watched him in hoping when the next badass moment would be, when the next punchline would be, and that's fine and all. That's who Vegeta used to be. But Vegeta in GT feels like the guy who is so absolutely confident about who he is, his past, and what he's done in the old cowboy days, that he would even go to the extent of trying different hairstyles, even if they looked rubbish, or trying out the grand mustache, which I absolutely dig, by the way. I think he should have kept it throughout GT. He would have snapped Omega Shenron in half with that mustache equipped. But even if the newer generation, like his daughter, think that the mustache sucked, he still gave things like that a shot, which says a lot about his personality. Look at the difference when Vegeta had to wear the pink shirt for the first time. The guy was on edge. He was going to have a panic attack. But Vegeta in GT, he walked down that street with that tash with alpha presence. The alpha aura that Omni-Man with his mustache could never have. I love that Vegeta became the warm, loving father in GT. He felt like the grumpy dad who loved to be grumpy, but one who would do anything for you because he loved you, and would kick someone's ass if the time called for it, when he rammed those two creeps off the cliff. It was like he drew upon the Saiyan Saga Vegeta, but for the right reasons. It was great. Instead of just doing it for fun all the time, or that it's in his nature, I would just get so bored of Vegeta doing the rinse, repeat, same shit, day in, day out, in the stupid Saiyan battle armor all the time like in Dragon Ball Super. GT Vegeta is way better and far more progressed than Dragon Ball Super Vegeta, but fair play to Super Vegeta in his role as a family man. That did improve, but everything else about him was static from Z, just to keep the Android Saga fanboy dream going. Most people think that the Buu Saga was the biggest shift to Vegeta's overall character, and I believe that is correct overall, but not for his obsession with Kakarot and surpassing him, as even during the end of Z, the final panels are literally Vegeta obsessing over beating Kakarot again, 10 years after Buu, so this panel is actually consistent with Dragon Ball Super Vegeta and his obsession with Goku. However, it's from there, after the end of Z, in the next 5 years after Goku leaves, into GT where Vegeta truly moves on. And I'll go into full detail about his mentions of Goku in GT in just a moment, because there's a lot I have to debunk there. But in terms of his overall character, Vegeta progressed. Moved on from all the bullshit hype that edgelords only watched Vegeta for. GT Vegeta is cool. And if you're a young Android Saga Vegeta fanboy, you won't see that yet. But he is alpha. Even if there were times that he didn't have the same power as Goku, Vegeta was still alpha because he was no longer insecure. And you do realize that base Vegeta was stronger than Goku at points during early GT, right? Don't believe me? Go and watch my complete 10-episode GT Power Scale series, where it answers all of your questions. But it's common knowledge that Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta was equal to Super Saiyan 4 Goku, so even at the end of GT, with the exception of Goku's change form, where you won't even know that exists if you didn't watch GT GT right, then GT Vegeta's power was actually equal to Goku's in Goku time. But power is not what GT Vegeta is about, is he? He knows who the hell he is. He's the perfect mixture of every Vegeta, but balanced so his peaceful side is in control. And he's winning because look how many years he's been with Bulma, where she is at her most badass in GT. I mean, check out that evil grin. But if you watch some GT outros, the one with Don't You See playing, you see some slice of life moments with Vegeta and Bulma, only for a few seconds. But those slice of life moments with Vegeta and his family, those moments stay with me and mean more to me, far more than all the battles in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. There's way more emotional attachment to moments like that, even if they are just a few seconds long. A picture speaks 1,000 words, right? And I love that about Vegeta. But I also loved how he went back to his old cowboy days, ruffled the hair, went back to the old look, shaved his mustache, and came back for another fight. That to me feels way more impactful than seeing him constantly doing it. Like our favorite action heroes, how amazing it is when you get to see the retired hero coming back for one more battle, with the intensity and tension that the story gives in thinking, can they still do this? Or just the enjoyment of seeing them go back to their badass roots just for a small period of time. And that's the vibe I get with GT Vegeta. Although he's infinitely stronger than he ever was in the past because it's Dragon Ball, they always progress stronger. Except go on after Cell games because that was plot. It's still great to see Vegeta's battle nature come back for a bit, like he hasn't missed a beat. Then go back to the family man after the battles. It's a great balance of fan service and story progression, and I feel that's what GT gave us. He was so at peace with himself, and I admire that about his character, who was so anxious and riled up for most of his life, basically being a slave under Frieza. Look at him in GT, you would never think that guy was ruled under Frieza. He was so chilled, like you could go out and have a pint with that guy. Vegeta in GT is the embodiment of growth, while still showing signs of who he used to be in a realistic way and in small doses. The gold standard of character development. GT Vegeta is a goddamn role model. The only role model that TN looks up to. And we're going to dive more into GT Vegeta and why he's the best Dragon Ball character in history. And also debunking all of the bullshit. Big voices can be a big influence, and that in turn can almost control the thoughts of all the consumers. It's very true. And this applies here, with a huge misconception, a lie that has the potential to be turned official. The vague description for GT Vegeta says, the Prince of All Saiyans, husband to Bulma and father to Trunks and Bulla. He views Goku as his rival and trains hard every day in the hope of eventually surpassing him. This is so far from the truth. This is a generic copy and paste description from Dragon Ball Super. This right here is the description, the bottom part anyway, a description of Android Saga Vegeta, seemingly written by either an Android Saga Vegeta fanboy or someone who has only watched the English dub of Dragon Ball GT. You may think the dialogue is true, it's because you don't know how to pay attention. GT Vegeta is way past this version. What it should say is, while he still likes to fight Goku from time to time, Vegeta now only trains hard every day in the hope of surpassing his own limits. But Vegeta has always been Goku's rival. He always wants to surpass him, right? The rival part, you can argue. He still likes to fight Goku, but that's not his goal. His goal is to be better than he was yesterday, but the hopes of him surpassing Kakarot? Man, are we going to destroy that right now? This is why the Japanese version of Dragon Ball GT is so critically important for the correct dialogue and narrative, because there is an episode in the Shadow Dragons arc where Vegeta literally talks about his past rivalry with Goku, where it was damn right an unhealthy obsession. He specifically states, "Ever since then, I put it all behind me. I decided not to chase after you any longer, Kakarot. Right now, I'm just genuinely curious as to what my limits are." This says it all. That Vegeta does not view Goku as his rival in terms of a life goal. A rival is meant to symbolize someone to rival, be close to. He had accepted where he and Kakarot were in terms of power. and stopped chasing him. Instead, he did his own thing, becoming stronger his own way. But like I said, it doesn't mean he doesn't like to fight Kakarot. He's a Saiyan for Kami's sake. Who better to get his Saiyan blood boiling in battle than Kakarot, right? But you could even argue, before Goku went Super Saiyan 4, Vegeta was the strongest because Baby even stated he had acquired the mightiest of Saiyan power. And he already met Goku, so eat your heart out, Goku fanboys. Vegeta did his own thing and got better his own way, and he realized that. But then Super Saiyan 4 happened, and it doesn't work Vegeta up at all. Not like Goku turning Super Saiyan did in Z. Look at the difference there. So yeah, Vegeta does not view Goku as a rival anymore, but he likes to fight him, as displayed on the bridge after the Baby Saga, which I'll explain more about in a second. But the worst part about this Xenoverse description is, trains hard every day in hope of surpassing him. I'm not even going to get into further details about comparing Goku and Vegeta there, the point being, Vegeta never hoped he would surpass Goku anymore. He was past all of that. The unhealthy obsession in the past held him back, if anything, by doing his own thing, being his own man, following his own path, losing the chip on his shoulder. Vegeta became better all around. The Xenoverse 2 hero vote description completely betrays and destroys who GT Vegeta is and how he developed through the years, and completely 180s his character development, regressing it to Android Saga Vegeta. I noticed they got rid of the Tash too. They really wanted him close to Android Saga Vegeta. These fanboys. I would love the mustache in Dragon Ball Xenoverse. That is peak Dragon Ball right there. Now let's look at a few bits of the Japanese dialogue in GT where Vegeta appears to be like the Vegeta of old and undermines his dialogue about stop chasing Kakarot. So let's analyze them, and let's not take them out of context like many do. Let's analyze them and why he's saying it at certain points. Now bearing in mind, Vegeta is a guy who is now only curious about his own limits, where he finds out from Bulma that he can become a Super Saiyan 4 as well. He says, "I'm still not finished. Kakarot, bring in your Super Saiyan 4, or 5, whatever you want." Now, why would he say that? He's clearly just said he stopped chasing Kakarot in that episode. But that doesn't mean the dude isn't hyped or excited to test his power against Kakarot now he's acquired something of a great deal. Think about it. This guy has been humble and accepted him as his own man for 20 years. If we got a sudden surge in power that made us feel like we could have a good battle with Kakarot once again, we damn well would be hyped and start trash talking. This guy is a Saiyan. He gets a power surge, he's going to be bubbling to fight it out. What better guy than Goku time, right? This doesn't mean he's hoping to surpass Kakarot. Vegeta didn't care. But now he's got a chance to become this power. The guy is going about this. And you know what's cool? It's not pressurizing for him. It's a Saiyan thing. For heaven's sake, he's calling out a theoretical Super Saiyan 5 here. And he's only just getting Super Saiyan 4 himself. That's like Super Vegeta calling out Super Saiyan 2 Gohan in the Cell games, or Majin Vegeta calling out Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Guys, GT Vegeta doesn't give a damn. He's hyped up and ready for a good old battle, win, lose or draw. Even when Goku had Super Saiyan 4 and he didn't care. So let's go back and talk about that bridge scene after the baby fight. Vegeta appeared on the bridge and wanted to challenge Goku. "Kakarot, fight me!" He goes on to say, "Today will be the day I defeat you." Look guys, Vegeta didn't give a flying nimbus. Goku's stomach growled and Vegeta pissed his pants laughing. If this was Android Saga Vegeta, he would be like, "Don't you dare laugh at me, clown! Die!" with a huge chip on his shoulder. This was clearly put in as a fan service moment after such a big arc where Goku and Vegeta square up like old times. Remember, this was the first time in GT these two got face to face, and I'm talking about a conscious Vegeta here, not Baby. This is pure comedy and shouldn't be taken serious like he's the Vegeta of old. This supports what I said earlier about how he likes to fight Kakarot but not obsess over it. However, the episode where he was telling us, the audience, that he is past the old days of being concerned about Kakarot, that counts because it was a whole episode focusing on that and was a theme of the episode. There's a massive difference there than just one little moment for comedy. Do you really think Vegeta was willing to take on Super Saiyan 4 Goku on the bridge here? He ain't that stupid. Even if he had a scrap with Goku, the dude isn't even worried about his pride knowing Super Saiyan 4 can trash him there, truly showing us how GT Vegeta has grown as a character and has different priorities. He's still a Saiyan. The dude will want a battle here and there. The bridge scene doesn't hold much weight in justifying that he hopes of surpassing Kakarot. The episode in the Shadow Dragon arc is basically Vegeta contemplating all of his decisions and moving on. Is this it for him? Is this his life now? And Lord behold, even when he got Super Saiyan 4, he was the one who came up with the fusion idea. This dude didn't let Super Saiyan 4 go to his head in defeating Kakarot, not like the old days when he gained Super Saiyan. Vegeta knew the Earth, family, and his friends were a priority. It's important to realize this. Vegeta is aging, growing. He's got the right to review his life decisions at this point. The dude is mentally strong enough, handling Goku as being a better man now and again. Not like the old days. He doesn't need a rival to get strong. He doesn't need to surpass Kakarot. GT Vegeta gets strong in his own way, and before anyone says he cheated to get Super Saiyan 4, bullshit. Bulma only turned him into Unuzaru. Vegeta went golden and then Super Saiyan 4 by himself. The same way Goku had his tail pulled out, both of them did the rest themselves. So Android Saga Vegeta fanboys, there's the door, there's the next dimension. Next up, we have this scene in the Super 17 saga where I believe it was Super 17 or Dr. Gero or Dr. Mu, one of them, I can't remember entirely. They were saying something to try and undermine Vegeta fighting, devaluing his spirit by bringing up Goku to save everybody, to make Vegeta feel worthless. And all I'm going to say here is, what Vegeta is saying about Kakarot this, Kakarot that, the dude is in the heat of the battle. He's being taunted. You're going to shout something back to the enemy to keep your own spirits high for the fight. Imagine he turned around and said, "Yes, you're right. Goku will save us all. I'll just stand over there." Serious, bro. You want to bring smack talk into the equation? GT Vegeta would go down fighting until death. He's gonna shout stuff out of pure instinct and rage to help fight back and not let his confidence get knocked in battle. Besides, he's shouting number one because it's his natural reaction in the heat of rage. He's using an intimidation tactic. It didn't work because Super 17 was too damn strong. Vegeta clearly knows he's not number one compared to Goku. He can't even wield Super Saiyan 4 at this point. Whoever thinks Vegeta meant what he was saying here is a complete lunatic. Don't take one line out of context, guys. Look at the whole picture. Look at the setting, look at the environment, look at the circumstances. I hope you enjoyed the truth behind GT Vegeta today, scholars. In a nutshell, the Xenoverse 2 description about the rival and surpassing Kakarot part is completely wrong. Maybe it's portrayed different in the English dub, but the original Japanese version, the one where literally 90% of Dragon Ball fans haven't watched, it completely cancels out the description because GT Vegeta is not that Vegeta. He doesn't view Goku as a rival anymore because he doesn't use Kakarot as motivation to get stronger. He does it himself, but he likes to fight Kakarot, so Xenoverse is wrong. Secondly, he doesn't hope to surpass Kakarot. It's not his dream. He's put it all behind him. He wants to show his own limits. But Lord behold, if he does get a surge of power to become Super Saiyan 4 like he did, you bet your ass he's going to be fired up to test it on Kakarot after 20 years. The only difference is he never hoped for it. And maybe then, maybe he would consider Kakarot a rival for battle purposes, but in life, GT Vegeta was way past that. He was his own man. Don't let Xenoverse 2 or any other product poison you with lies like this, because that's how misconceptions destroy a community, with lies. Watch the show in its true form, with true accuracy. That's more legit and official than any guidebook or game. Work it out yourself, scholars. The only thing the Brute Waves machine did was turn Vegeta into a basic Uzaru. The next steps, the Golden Ape and the Super Saiyan 4 form, were done all by himself. GT Vegeta cheated by using a machine, but this is the same guy who used a friggin' artificial moon in the Saiyan saga. But it was his own technique. Well, think about this. Think about his character and what he thought about when learning that technique for the first time. Ooh, it's artificial. I shouldn't learn that technique. A true Saiyan gathers his Brute's ways properly from the full moon. A true Saiyan grows naturally, like a real Saiyan, not by using some cheap parlor trick. Come on now. Stop the bullshit, Vegeta. You learned that technique because it would be efficient for you to gather Brute's waves in difficult situations. And this makes sense, right guys? That's obviously why he learned it, in case there were no moons, and if times were tough. Yeah, so why the hell is using a Brute's waves machine in a desperate time any different? Do you really think Vegeta was going to shout up to Omega Shenron, "Hey, Dragon Scum, I'm gonna whip your ass when I get Super Saiyan 4. But what I need you to do is wait for me to go and get my tail pulled out by the old Kai. Can you wait here for me? Can you wait while I go and be the real Vegeta and not cheat with this artificial Brute's Waves machine?" Do you know what Omega would have said? He would have said, "Vegeta,
You're a goddamn disgrace.
Vegeta was 100% right to go for a super efficient Brute Waves machine that Bulma had. In fact, he did it better than Goku because it was less messing around, less risk and gambles. It got the job done and he didn't have to sacrifice shit. He didn't sell his soul like he did when Babidi took over him. That's another thing that pisses me off. The irony is amazing in this fandom. GT Vegeta sucks. He cheated to get Super Saiyan 4, but you love the same guy who purposely fell under a spell to catch up to Goku. When he pulled his Saiyan Prince Badman pants down so Babidi could do him up the ass. You tell me which scenario makes Vegeta look more like a cheater. So goddamn ironic. Omega was going to scorch the earth. He was in the process of doing it. The universe, for that matter. You're telling me Vegeta is a cheating bastard because of this method to ascend to a Super Saiyan 4 and protect his loved ones and the planet. But it's okay for Vegeta to get possessed by Babidi just to fight Goku in some wasteland dump. Come on, bro. You're telling me Vegeta cheats by actually using a really impressive device to help tailless Saiyans like himself ascend to their pinnacle? That this is not the real Vegeta? The real Vegeta wouldn't want anyone's help. He would grow all by himself without anyone's assistance. Yet the Vegeta on Namek needed Krillin's help and assistance to blast him through the chest so he can get his Zenkai boost. Where's the honor in that? The dignity? You're supposed to be the prideful warrior Vegeta that earns his scars through actual battles. If anything, Krillin blasting Vegeta to exploit the Zenkais is the biggest cheat code in Dragon Ball history. Don't give me none of that GT Vegeta cheats crap because you know that doesn't make any goddamn sense. GT Vegeta was the man who grew internally, didn't act like an asshole with stupid, insecure pride issues to restrict his evolution. Vegeta was always the man to rely on gadgets and tech, scouters, Saiyan armor, space pods, gravity machines. He friggin' lives in Capsule Corporation with a tech woman. Do you really think he's not going to be accustomed to living with techie equipment in the city? Wake up! He's lived there for 30 years. Plus, Goku got his friggin' tail pulled out by the old Kai. Without him, Goku wouldn't even be Super Saiyan 4. So you're telling me Goku didn't cheat, but Vegeta did? You can't pick and choose because both methods were not Goku or Vegeta's alone. These fanboys, I tell you, Goku would hands down have taken the Brute Waves hit if he had the opportunity to. Hands down. Imagine it was the other way around. And it was called Dragon Ball VT, Vegeta time, and GT Goku turned up late to the fight, like old tradition, and he said, "Sorry Bulma, I don't want to use the Brute Waves machine to ascend and be a Super Saiyan 4 like Vegeta. I'd rather go and train to become one and let Omega ruin the Earth for a while." Bullshit. Not only would he take it due to the urgency, he would take that Brute Waves machine anyway because this character in Dragon Ball Super put himself forward in a ritual to get a free bus pass to Super Saiyan God. These fanboys and their picking and choosing, I tell you scholars. Plus, Goku or Vegeta can't even train to become Super Saiyan 4. Both needed bizarre means to achieve their tails to ascend. Goku's was more mystical magic based thanks to the old Kai, Vegeta was tech based. It's a two-way street, and besides the tech way definitely suited Vegeta more anyway, being a Saiyan with all that tech. If anything, GT Vegeta using tech to become Super Saiyan 4 is more loyal to his Saiyan days than ever before. How the hell can he be a cheater? This baffles me, honestly scholars. Okay, video reminder, if you say GT Vegeta cheated to become Super Saiyan 4, this is the equivalent of what those words hold. This is the merit they hold. It's stained wallpaper level. And then the high horse soldier of misfortune turns up. Huh, but you should respect other people's opinions. You're completely unfair having a go at them. Where's your respect? Yes, you're right, Captain America. But do us all a favor and shut the hell up. I do respect opinions as long as they hold some value and the person comes off as being genuine about it or can explain it without making something up like a complete moron. But saying GT Vegeta cheated to become Super Saiyan 4 is not an opinion. It's idiotic, it's stupid, it's foolish, it's bullshit. And I don't respect short-sighted crap like that. There is no way someone can have dignity or pride or even genuine belief in saying this. they must be living in denial or haven't even watched Dragon Ball outside of the Android saga. I mean, it baffles me so much that I cannot believe just how stupid and ignorant these so-called fans of Dragon Ball are. And to narrow it down, these are Android Saga Vegeta fanboys, 100%. Maybe Namek Saga Vegeta, Majin Vegeta fanboys, just to widen the range of opportunity, because now I want to talk about Z Vegeta and that overrated Android Saga Vegeta. And if this is you and you come out of this video as a changed man, actually realizing the stupidity that you fought for so many years, I'm happy I could make a difference in your life. But if your terrible belief and lies stick with you even after this video, then continue locking yourself away in the basement while you fap to Android Saga Vegeta. Fap so hard until your arm actually breaks, like what happened to Android Saga Vegeta. And I was speaking to Salagen about this, and it really is unbelievable, unfriggin' believable how some people just make up their own version of Vegeta without actually analyzing the character arc and understanding where the hell he's going in life and who he's becoming. These jabronis don't get that Vegeta was becoming who he was meant to be. The whole reason why he was a complete asshole in the first place was due to his upbringing, his environment, slavery under Frieza, which is completely told to us clear as day. That when Frieza was out of the equation and he started to live on Earth, have a family, Vegeta's life started changing for the better. He became much stronger. His life held far more meaning. The Android Saga Vegeta was at a midpoint for his character, the start of a transition of becoming a better man, and he had so many hurdles of pride and arrogance to get over to become that better man. Android Saga Vegeta was a complete prick, and some fans think he's the most badass, most memorable Vegeta of all, that they can't let that go. Just because he blew up a pathetic machine like Android 19. That's why Android Saga Vegeta fanboys hate GT Vegeta's look and personality, because they wanted the old Vegeta back. Not realizing characters actually evolve on and off screen over time. Good people grow up in both maturity and attitude, and Vegeta was one of those characters in GT that did that. I mean, it really is unbelievable just how wrong they are of GT Vegeta, and even more, just how wrong it is about the character of Vegeta as a whole. I mean, do these idiots, these annoying little Android Saga Saiyan Prince, I fight alone fanboy dickwads, do they even know anything about the character of Vegeta? Do they? If you're one of them, I'm asking you right now, do you know Vegeta's character arc? Do you realize that Android Saga Vegeta has so many insecurities about himself? I will surpass Kakarot. I fight alone. Fuck my family. My sensitive Saiyan pride. I'm a super duper Saiyan. Seriously, fuck off with that. If you think that is Vegeta as a whole, you're watching the wrong show. That was one of Vegeta's weakest versions in terms of personality and character. Do you realize he grew mountains stronger in that 7-year time skip after Cell Games? And he wasn't even chasing Kakarot during that time. He lived an earthly life. And as poor as his parenting was, he still took his son to the damn park. Let me make this clear so even fanboys as arrogant and obnoxious as Android Saga Vegeta can get it. Vegeta's whole character arc was about self-improvement. Not just in strength, but more importantly his view on life and the others, to the point where he sacrificed himself against Boo. It wasn't done out of rage. It wasn't done because someone forced him to. He did it out of sincerity. He did it not even for personal gain. He did it for love, because that's who he truly became. And the Boo arc, the Majin Vegeta phase, was one of the best moments of all time because it completed Vegeta's growth and story as a character. You would never see Android Saga Vegeta doing shit like that unless it was some flip of the moment rage spurt like he did when Trunks died. That was his first moment of realization. Completely different to years down the line when he stepped forward with full control and capacity and made the decision to die. Heck, even in GT, he became the one who actually brought up the idea to fuse. Think how much trouble it would have took him to fuse back in the Android Saga days. Vegeta knew Omega was a threat, and he thought about everyone else rather than his stupid pride. Cheating. Huh. And then you get these fanboys who refuse to acknowledge that, refuse to understand where Vegeta would be in another 10, 20 years down the line. Do you honestly think in GT he would act like he did on Namek? Or when he let Cell absorb 18, do you really think Vegeta would regress and become a stupid idiot once again? You don't think he would learn that pride to that level, selfishness, all of those negative traits would be a hindrance to his growth? Because they damn well were. which is why he grew stronger than ever before after he stopped letting that pride govern his life to that degree, when he knocked the Kakarot chip off his shoulder, when he became his own man by caring for his family and the Earth, his way. Even Dragon Ball Super gave us a good Vegeta in terms of that. Despite him still saying, "I'll surpass Kakarot," that part's crap, but in terms of his family life, Vegeta's personality is written well in Dragon Ball Super as a whole. Especially what he displayed against Toppo. I like that. And of course he's going to have dignity and pride in GT, a healthy dose of it like any warrior should, but not to the levels of before where it ruled him and made him a prick, and actually cost him on so many occasions because he refused to listen or cooperate. Another part of the Buu saga is when he finally agrees to fuse with Goku. Moments before that, the Kakarot PTSD was kicking in once again. He was angry after being brought back, his sacrifice meaning nothing. He had a moment of his old prideful Vegeta once again, and where did that get him? An ass whooping by Buhan. Until he realized once again, when Goku said the ones they've been fighting for, Bulma, Trunks, they're gone, he realized then who he was, who he is, who he fights for. He let his past go, he fused, and it led to wonders. Vegito. In the Buu fight, both Goku and Vegeta admitted to fighting solo, and both crushed the Potara, so that was a mutual agreement between them both because they felt like, Goku mainly, felt like he could handle Kid Buu alone due to him being pure and no one else absorbed. A fair fight, so to speak. Goku's way of fighting, but that was greatly miscalculated. You can't say Vegeta's decision there was a regression. But this is where Vegeta gave that major important speech, which proved he was no longer your precious android saga Vegeta Saiyan Prince asshole. So Edgelord Vegeta fanboys, here's your daily reminder and recap of the facts in Dragon Ball GT. Goku got help to get his tail. Goku also gets 2 ritual-style power amps in order to stay in the big fights, one against Baby, one against Sin. And all this help came from a bunch of Saiyans and Kaioshins. But this is the best one. Vegeta is a cheater for using a super efficient way to return to Monkey because he didn't act like Android Saga Vegeta. And the only one to help him was one Earth woman. She did all that and Goku had help from Saiyans and Kaioshins. And Vegeta's the cheater? Who is Vegeta cheating? Himself or you? GT Vegeta grew up, changed his priorities for the better of the Earth and his family and himself, and stopped living in the past. And maybe that's what you fanboys should do too.
Hey Omega, let me go and ask old Kai to pull my pants down and use a giant pliers to rip my tail out of my ass. Because that's way more respectful to my pride than receiving some concentrated brute waves from my hot wife's high-tech device. Just go and have a coffee, Omega. I'll be back later, after I stop being a cheater. I gotta be like I was when Android 18 snapped my shit up. My fanboys need me.
And that's it for GT Vegeta, the best character in Dragon Ball history in terms of character development. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hoped it buried a lot of the bullshit about the character, and you can truly see how awesome he actually is. A goddamn role model, Ten Shinhan's mentor. Leave a like on the video, it really helps out, guys. Go grow yourself a mustache. And now is a time where it's never been more fitting to say this.
I'll see you in the next dimension.